Hello everybody, welcome to World of Warship Blitz with the Duca degli Abruzzi. I'll just call it the Abruzzi, which is the Tier 7 Premium Italian Cruiser. So we'll take this out for a spin. I'm whizzing through on the press account the premiums to fill in some gaps. And what I'm going to do is see how the Italian ships do. So I've got the Giulio Cesare and this Abruzzi, and so, well, the performance on the Abruzzi is pretty good actually. Now I've taken a concealment build here, just in case you were looking at that concealment circle. It's got historical camo, I have the refined coal, and I have the concealment equipment, which actually makes for a really concealable cruiser. Now what I have done is sacrifice some of the turning modules, or one of the turning modules, so the turning performance on this is not great. I mean, it's not bad. It's not, you know, a sort of York bad, but it's still pretty rough. So what I'm doing here is obviously trying to stay out of visibility range with those. Obviously those planes are making it a little bit hard because yeah, I'm trying to get myself into a position where I can you know, get some reasonable firepower going. So what I'm going to do is head back in and then turn around and head back out again, so that I'm alongside this Colorado and I can add my air defense firepower to help support him. So really joining the fleet essentially, and there onto the rear we have a battleship. So I'll turn around, keeping my guns to the right. First target, shores, extreme range. Try not to scratch the paint on this Algeri. Looks like he's doing some reversing. So of course I fire off in the direction of his travel. Oh, no, he's it's just hard to tell on this map with the smokestack. He is reversing now, that's for certain, so he was decelerating previously. That's a bit of a miss. I know. And then we basically try and land our shots. So it has quite tight groupings, if you can see. Now obviously because I've fired, there's the aircraft carrier, but I won't get tempted by that because I'm just going to scratch some paint at this distance and it'll disappear. So what I'm trying to do here is, yeah, it's got fairly good dispersion. Bring the guns around, and here we go, and we can fire off some torpedoes on the assumption that he's going to accelerate when he's away from that island, but it doesn't look as though he's going to do that. It's a bit of a shame. What that does means that he can't accelerate. Man, maybe I should have done a wide spread on those torpedoes. The torpedoes have very good range, but they don't seem to be travelling particularly quickly. So let's have a look at the stats at the end of the game, and we'll see if we can deal with this guy. So I'm moving in. Hopefully, yep, well, he's not firing at me. Someone else got him. It's a bit of a shame. We almost had him, and we'll put out that fire and put on the heel. Right, Atlanta. Trying to sneak round behind the enemy lines. So there's a destroyer off to my rear, but there's a battleship and a cruiser. And I'm probably the only thing that can catch up with this Atlanta, and this Atlanta's trying for our carrier, although in the cap. Oh, well, that battleship really hasn't. He's had a bit of a rough run, hasn't he? So what I'm going to do here is fire some torpedoes, and really all that does is just it'll punish him if he tries to veer in towards our cap. There's some smoke. I have some sonar, but that sonar's never going to reach that far, but he's just used it to try and shake me off. I'm not sure what he used that smoke for at all. So there we go, getting some hits on him. So it has quite good long-range guns, and its maneuverability isn't that bad. It's not a tough ship, and I think I've been lucky in this game that I haven't really been the target for much enemy fire. Certainly would be hurting a lot more if this Atlanta was firing back at me rather than the battleship or destroyer, whatever he's firing at. This ought to be enough to finish him off. And yeah, we turn around and start to get the Shiratsu, this Shiratsuyu into our firing arcs. He's rocking backwards and forwards, so I have to try and gauge. Let's just see what happens there. That potentially looks like an overshoot. We nicked him with one. He's chasing that Algeri, and oops, I'm reversing. One more hit, we should be able to do it, unless of course someone else gets him first, and that should be enough, except the Algeri gets him first, but that's okay. Got a reasonable amount of damage, and kill is secured before he got torpedoes off, so can't complain about that. And then what we're going to do now, we've got 23 seconds left in the game. We're 5 ships to 2, so really it's just mopping up operations. As far as the game goes, looks like our West Virginia, our Hiru and our Fuso remained in the cap. So a bit of a defensive game. Could have gone any other way, and I think we've been quite lucky that the enemy was a bit piecemeal when they were coming after us. So yeah, so the Abruzzi it's got good guns, it's got good long range torpedoes, excellent range torpedoes, good concealment. I don't know how tough it is because I don't think I got really very heavily tested in that battle. But yeah, it's got reasonable performance, so it's just basically an all-round good ship. And that's probably the best summary for it, is that it's actually just a nice ship all round. So 117 hits, 2 fires, 33,000 damage, no torpedo hits. Let's go have a look at the stats. 27,000 worth of hit points, that's not too bad, but those protection values aren't that great. But then again, it is a cruiser, 34 knots. The turning seemed to be okay, nearly 13 kilometres of range, 7-second reload, which is really good. 5% damage, the AP damage and the HE damage, 400 to 500, not bad. Those torpedoes, let's have a look at the speed, 61 knots, okay then, they're not 50 knot torpedoes. 9.36 kilometre torpedo range, surface detection 7.02. Let's go have a look at the elite bonus. Still need to choose, but I'd probably go with the speed on average with this one. Anyway, those are the 2 choices yet to be made. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you next time for another look at another World of Warships Blitz ship.